Hi, I'm Jared. I've been a practicing witch for just over 2 decades, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the why and how to cast a circle. This video was requested by Cats over on Twitter. There are actually many different ways to cast a circle, and all of them are perfectly valid. So when I eventually, because I can never answer the simplest of questions with a simple answer, get talking about how I cast a circle, please bear in mind that it's simply that. My way of doing it. Other ways of casting circles are perfectly valid. In the end, when it comes time for you to cast your own circle, there is only one way to do it, and that is the way that works for you and makes the most sense to you. Maybe you'll decide that you like my way and will make use of it. Maybe you'll take my idea and the way I do things and tweak it a little bit for your own preferences. Or maybe you'll decide that you much prefer the way someone else casts a circle altogether. Before we get to how to cast a circle, we should discuss why we cast a circle, or at least why I do. If you look at a lot of online resources, they say that you cast a circle for protection. That's true in many traditions, especially those that are influenced by high magic, also called ceremonial magic. However, it's not the reason all witches cast circles, and it's not the primary reason that I cast one. Another reason witches may cast a circle is to contain the power they are generating and working with. This is especially true if they're trying to raise a cone of power to direct it toward a single goal. Those who practice magic from the perspective of raising a cone of power often see the circle, or where the circle of their sphere intersects the floor, as the base of their cone of power. That's a major reason why the circle is there in the first place, to act as that base and keep the energies contained until they are released. While I don't generally raise a cone of power in my magic, I do like the idea of my circle containing the energies I work with. It also fits nicely into a third reason witches might cast a circle. This is the one that makes the most sense to me and the one I like to focus on. It's the view that says casting a circle is about creating a magical space that is outside ordinary time and space. The space where there is no place for thoughts of work, household chores, and other everyday minutiae, because it's the place where the gods and magic reign. I'll note that in some traditions, especially non-witch traditions, they don't cast a circle at all because they don't see a need for it. Or that it doesn't make sense for how they see magic working, or it doesn't fit in with their needs and goals. That's also why I don't always cast a circle. Mostly, I save circle casting for rituals at the full and new moons. So now that we've discussed why I cast a circle, let's get into how I do it. How I do it is greatly influenced by why I do it. For example, I like to cast my circle using a dagger or a knife. In fact, I use this one right here. I've been in covens and other groups that prefer to use a wand to cast a circle. One group that I was working with seemed to be anti-knife in general. They just didn't like using them. I got the impression that those in charge felt that knives were too symbolic of violence and aggression. That's a perfectly valid point of view, but it's not the way that I see things. Instead, I want to use my knife exactly because I see casting a circle as marking out and creating a space separate from ordinary time and space. For me, casting the circle with my knife is a powerful act of literally cutting the space inside the circle away from the ordinary space outside of it. So when I can magically move that into that realm where the gods and magic reign. Physically, I like to start in the north. For me, that's the direction most associated with the element of earth and solid ground. I then point my dagger at the floor, kind of like in this picture over here, though I don't usually look at a camera while casting a circle, and I walk around the room clockwise. As I walk, I visualize a beam of energy, usually red for me, flowing from the tip of my knife and cutting a glowing groove into the floor. As I continue to walk, I picture energy flowing up and down from that glowing groove to form a glittering barrier of light that will become a perfect sphere. While I do this, I like to also say something to verbalize what I'm doing. For example, this is what I wrote for casting a circle when my husband Joe and I worked together. We cast the sacred circle, creating a space connected to all other times and spaces. Let it be a holy temple where we may honor our gods and practice our craft. I try to pace saying the words so that I finish exactly when I reach the northernmost point in the circle again. At that point, I probably add, "So mote it be." I love that phrase because I feel like it punctuates me making my will known and making it manifest in reality. It's kind of like when the Ugnaught in The Mandalorian says, "I have spoken." It's a done deal and there's no point in trying to argue or negotiate over it. You'll notice that the physical acts involved in my circle casting are pretty simple. You'll probably note that this is pretty common in a lot of the stuff I do. I tend to keep things simple, especially the physical acts. That way I can focus on what I'm doing in my mind and on an energetic and psychic level. To me, that's where the magic happens. The physical stuff is primarily there to get my body involved in the process so that I'm tapping into all of my being when I'm doing my work. So how about you? What are your reasons for casting a circle? Let me know your ideas down in the comments, and be sure to check back next week when I'll be sharing my story of getting started in the craft and my recommendations for beginners. Until then, blessed be.